Abandoned warehouse, nighttime. Author's POV. The girl huddles in the darkness, her breath shallow as she runs as fast as she can in the dark forest. She stops for a moment to catch her breath and glances around if she is being followed or not. She convinces herself that she had outsmarted the Mafia King so easily, and a spark of hope kindles inside her. Wyan, whispering to herself happily, he's not as smart and powerful as he thinks he is. I can disappear without a trace. While searching for a way out from that dense forest, suddenly, she saw a streak of light coming from a distance. After going further towards the light, she stands in front of an old abandoned warehouse. She ignores the fact that what an abandoned warehouse is doing in the middle of the forest. She decides to use it as a hideout and spend the night there, so she steps inside silently and sneakily observes the warehouse. After making sure that she is alone and safe there, she rests for a while. After a long run, she feels thirsty and fatigued, so she looks for water and finds a tap with running water. After drinking some water, she sat down on a chair in the old dirty warehouse, without suspecting the fact that who put a clean chair in an abandoned dirty warehouse. She thinks that maybe someone was staying here before and now she is gone for some reason. She ignores the fact that it could be a trap for her. She spends some time there, and after gaining some strength, she gets up and moves cautiously, her footsteps barely audible as she walks towards the exit. But just as she reaches for the door handle, a cold, faint sound catches her attention. Wyan, alarmed by the voice, her breath hished, and she talks in a trembling, broken voice. Who? W. Who? S. There. Is someone there? Show yourself. Jungkook, in cold, husky voice says, "Are you lost, baby girl?" Author's POV. From the shadows emerges the Mafia King. Jungkook, his presence looming large and ominous. Wyan, after listening, his voice froze at the spot and her whole body began to tremble in fear as she turned around. A gasp left her mouth as if she saw a ghost. Her eyes become wide in fear, and she thinks that she is hallucinating. But reality hit her hard after realizing that he is actually there. Her eyes watery and her body becomes numb with her legs shaking, and in shock, she falls on the ground in utter confusion and fear. She shook her head several times and tried to breathe normally, but she became more terrified and tried to crawl back to get away from him as far as she can, but her body is not listening to her. Jungkook, smirking wildly, he takes his predatory steps closer to her and said in a very dangerous, cold tone while kneeling down against her, "Welcome to my warehouse, my dolly." Jungkook winked with a frown, saying in a sarcastic way, "How are you feeling, dolly? Do you feel better now, huh? How is my surprise, dolly? You like it, right? You don't expect me to be here, right? Well, I think you rest enough in my warehouse, or do you need more rest, huh, dolly? Did you really think you could escape from me so easily? Huh?" Jungkook winked with a frown in rage, he says while tightly squeezing her chubby cheeks with his strong, veiny hands. "You think you can escape this Jungkook, the Mafia King from whom whole world tremble in fear by just listening the name?" Wyan, her eyes become wide after hearing that comma. In her mind, she thinks, "Is this his warehouse? How can I be so naive?" Jungkook's sad face while tracing her fingers on her face. "I don't like when my dear thing gets away from me. You did wrong, baby girl. You did wrong." And he yells at her with rage in his voice and makes his grip tighter on her cheeks and said, "I think I become so soft for you, that's why you take advantage of my softness. Wrong move, doll. Now you have to pay for what you did, my baby girl. And the punishment will be a harsh lesson for you that you never ever make these foolish escaping plans and try to get away. Now you will see the worst side of me." You get that, doll saying that while holding her right hand and make her get up from the ground and hold herself towards him. He rests her one hand around her waist, and his left hand is caressing her hair softly. Author's POV. Wyan panics when he comes so much closer to her that not even air can escape. Without her knowing, His touch makes butterfly in her stomach for the first time, and she closes her eyes in closeness. Her whole face flushed with red tint, but she comes to her sense when she feels his lips on her and he kissing her passionately. After regaining her senses, she panics and tries to push him away with all her might as she searches for an escape route, but Jungkook holds her firmly by her waist and don't let her go away from him. When he becomes satisfied, he left her lips and give her a peck on her cheeks and said, "I don't want to do that, but you makes it hard for me. So let's go home silently if you don't want to get things more intense and harsh for you. So listen to me obediently, Dolly." Author's POV. Thousands of his guards are waiting for him with his luxurious cars outside. Jungkook, tightly gripping her waist with his strong big hands and talk in a very dark, cold, angry voice. "Stop struggling, you are not going anywhere, little doll. Why don't you understand that? Let's go home, I'm not gonna say that again. If I say something you have to obey that, do you understand?" Saying that with a smug smile in his face, and while dragging her by holding her hands tightly and firmly. Wyan, desperately struggling to free herself from his strong grip and saying in angry, broken, shattered voice, "Let me go. You beast, you maniac, let me go. I won't stay with you. I won't come with you. You can't force me to be with you without my will. Why can't you understand that? I'm just a simple, normal girl. Why don't you find someone who likes you? Why are you desperately chasing me?" Saying that while folding her hands against her chest in praying position, she pleads with all her might. Author's POV. After listening to this, Jungkook expression become darkened as he glares at her with his dark, angry red eyes and says in a taunting voice while biting her earlobe little harshly, "Oh, my baby doll, you're so naive. You can get away from me by this. Your so-called pleading eyes. Now, you underestimated me, baby," saying that while whispering in her ears. "You'll learn that there's no escaping my grasp," saying that with a sinister smirk on his lips, he gave a death glare to her and lift her up with his strong broad shoulders and carry her. While she is constantly wiggling in his grip and tries to free herself several times, but she fails because of his strong grip around her. After he reaches his car, he pushes her into his luxurious car's backseat. He also sat beside her and removes his tie from his neck and ties her hands with it. Then he gets out of the car and locks the back gate of his car and sits in the driving seat and off to his mansion with fast pace. Author's POV. The girl's hope dwindles as the reality of her situation sinks in. Trapped in the darkness with no way out, she faces the chilling truth of the Mafia King's power. What will be Mafia King Jungkook's next step? Will she ever gonna escape from him? Want to know what happened to Wyan? Then stay tuned for next chapter. Till then. Author Nish, peace out. Take care.